Hello, friends, welcome back to our channel. Today's story is Knock, Knock, Knock. I will tell you a true story about something terrible that happened on Halloween. It all happened many years ago in a town, which at that time was a just little town between the mountains of Catalonia, Spain. The town was little more than a small square with a church, a park, a prison, and a school with all the houses clustered around. The town was very proud of the school since it had been voted the best school in the province. It was the morning of October 31st, Halloween, and the class of students were doing arts and crafts in their classroom. Some were cutting skeletons out of sheets of paper, some were painting vampire bats, and others were drawing pumpkins. The students were all aged between 8 and 9 years old. The teacher was a young, beautiful woman who had been working there at the school for a month. While the children were having fun, preparing their Halloween decorations, the teacher turned the radio to listen to the weather forecast. She was planning to organize an outdoor Halloween party for the kids later that day and wanted to be sure that it wouldn't rain. Suddenly, the weather forecast was interrupted by a news bulletin. This is an important announcement. A convicted murderer has escaped from the local prison and is on the loose. He is described as armed and very dangerous. Please do not attempt to apprehend him. The police will. The teacher rushed across the room and switched off the radio. She did not want to alarm the children, but it was too late. The children had all heard the broadcast and were frightened by the news. They knew that the prison was near the school. The teacher tried to reassure them and told them not to worry. A few minutes later, the school principal made an announcement over the intercom.
Attention all teachers. We have been informed that the police are dealing with a very serious situation that is occurring right now in the town. All the teachers are advised to lock the doors and windows of their classrooms until the police get the situation under control. I repeat, lock all the doors and windows until further instruction. That is all.
The teacher told the class to stay calm. She took out her key and locked the classroom door. Then she went around and closed every window, making sure that they were secure and nobody could get in. One little girl raised her hand and asked if she could go to the bathroom. The teacher did not want to let her go, but the girl insisted. The teacher finally relented and gave her permission to go to the toilet. After all, it was unlucky that the murderer would come to the school. She told the girl that when she came back, she would have to give a secret knock at the classroom door. Then they would know that it was her and they could let her back in. The code was it was 3 knocks. The girl left to go to the bathroom and the teacher locked the door behind her. To take the children's minds off the scary situation, she started telling stories. After 20 minutes had passed and the girl still had not returned, the teacher began to get worried. What's taking her so long? She wondered out loud. Suddenly, they could hear footsteps in the corridor. Everybody in the classroom froze. Then they heard a noise at the door. She's back, sighed the teacher in relief. She walked over and took out her key. What if it is not her? Asked the little boy who was shivering with fright. The teacher hesitated, her key inches from the lock. Again they heard a noise at the door. It must be her, said the teacher. She put the key into the door and unlocked it. Suddenly the classroom door burst open and a tall man was standing there. In his right hand he was holding a knife, and in his left hand he was holding the little girl's severed head. The escaped murderer came into the classroom, smiling from ear to ear. The children were trapped inside. All that could be heard in the corridors of the school were screams of terror and squeals of pain. In the chaos, the teacher managed to break a window and jump out. She barely escaped with her life and crawled to safety. The children, however, were not so lucky. When the police arrived, they found the murderer sitting in the middle of the classroom. The floor, walls, and ceiling were covered in blood. Little body parts lay scattered around him. He had chopped every child in the class into tiny pieces. They found the headless body of the little girl in the third stall of the bathroom. The police had figured out what had probably happened that cold October day. The escaped prisoner must have been hiding in the toilet when the girl was asking for permission to go to the bathroom. He must have surprised her in the stall and forced her to tell him the password. When she did, he cut off her head. Today the teacher is in psychiatric hospital. She never recovered from the incident and cannot stop repeating over and over again. The school was abandoned because parents refused to send their children there. There were too many bad memories. The school was left just the way it was when the murders occurred. They say that if you visit the old school building and go into the classroom, you can still see the blood still dripping down the walls. I hope you all enjoyed this story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and click the bell icon for further stories.